Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. This is Irene. I'm here again on educational matters this week. How are you all? How are you all? I'm trying to get the setting right. Okay. Yeah, today I'm going to be discussing something a lot of parents are always, after. Like I said, in educational matters, we're always looking at, supporting parents, giving parents resources that will help them support their children's educational attainment. I know that every parent, irrespective of the amount of school fees you pay, you want your child to do well in school, you want your child to do well educationally, you want your child to be the tops in the class. This week I'm going to be talking about reading. I know a lot of parents want their children to be that readers. I mean, read. You want children who just go and pick up their books without being prompted to read. You want children who are lifelong learners. Unfortunately, the educational system we run here in the country is such that a lot of our children are just reading to pass exams. It's a sad situation. It's an unfortunate situation. You see that, because a lot of times the way we run our academic system, you resume school, you have probably your resumption tests for schools who do that. After that, you go on and then you start your classwork. They give you your homework, you go home and do it and all. So many schools do not have that extra to have aside from their English textbooks, that the children used to learn, their maybe phonics and diction textbooks and all. They don't have, a lot of schools do not have library. A lot of schools do not have that time where it's okay, the time to even put into the school calendar, into the what's it called now, the timetable for the day, where there's a special time for just reading. And when I'm talking about reading, I'm talking of reading for pleasure. I'm not talking of reading to pass exam, because reading should be, hi, you're welcome. I'm seeing some people joining me. Thank you so much. I can see your name. Okay, when I see it, I would actually acknowledge you. Thank you. Reading for pleasure is one of the life skills that every adult, every child should imbibe, so that when they become adults, they are just lifelong learners, they are lifelong readers. Like I said initially, we are always into read for exam, pass our exam, throw our books away, and that is the end of it. So you see that even we have programmed our children to be that way. We program them in such a way that this is exam season now, they're all reading to pass exam, they're all reading to pass exam. By in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, exams will be over for every school in Nigeria, at least for K to 12 schools, I mean kindergarten to secondary school. And that will be it. They throw the books away and waiting again till January, okay, we start another cycle. But for you as a parent, irrespective of the background you come from, irrespective of the kind of family you were raised, irrespective of the school you were raised, I think you owe it a duty to make sure that your children are readers. And we always say that readers are leaders. you know don't feel that, oh, maybe because you feel, okay, people who are leading us, are they really readers? But let's look at the standard practice, best practice all over the world. People who lead are readers. They read a lot, they try to make sure that they get information, and one of those ways is reading for pleasure. So I will be telling you today, what do you have to do to read for pleasure? How do you My light is off. Okay, so how do you get your children to be able to read for pleasure? you know I'm going to be giving you some steps, and if you're here, quick, just you can chat me up if you have something to add, if you want to share your experience, how you got your children to be readers. I have 4 children, like I say. My first child is 17. you know um like I keep saying, he had challenges with reading. Phonemic awareness was low, and it kind of affected him reading. And when children can't read, they lack confidence. When you look at struggling readers in the class, you see that they don't have the confidence because they feel that they do not know, they can't, they are not keeping up par with the others. So, reading boosts confidence, reading helps you to think, reading helps you to know more. When I was 13, I read one of the books Frederick Forsyth wrote, he wrote about Odumego Ojukwu when he went to the Oxford. So in 2018, I had the opportunity to be in Oxford. Can I tell you, I had what those people call the deja vu feeling. It was as if I've been in that city before. And that was because of the power of reading. What I read over 30 years ago, I saw it, So I went to Oxford and people were like, have you been here before? I said no. But when I saw Sheldonian Theatre, I said, oh, this is Sheldonian Theatre. You would think ordinarily I've been to Oxford before, but that was my first time. And that's the power of reading. Because I had read about Sheldonian Theatre when Ojukwu, they go there to take lectures and all. And so the street of Oxford to me was like something I've been to. And that is what the power of reading. You can travel the world through books. I tell you, and I also tell educators, I tell teachers, one of the things I tell teachers is the 21st century student is more knowledgeable than the teachers. And the teachers ask me how. I said because their parents take them for summer. A lot of them go for summer. This Christmas song will still go for, I don't know if it's winter. Okay, Christmas holidays. They go outside the country. So I asked the teachers, how do you meet up? It's in the power of reading. Because you read whether online or offline, it gives you that power, that edge over them as well. So you're able to discuss with your students who travel to New York, who travel to England, because you have actually read it. So it doesn't have, oh, I don't know. Hello, thank you. Oh, Elder, thank you for joining. Elder, well done. I hope your training has been going on well. Thank you so much for joining. So now I'm going to be looking at the questions that parents usually ask. When can I start reading? When can I start teaching my children reading? The first thing I'll tell you is that you can start teaching your child reading even from when your child is from 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I mean, you'll be surprised. You're like, is she really serious? Yes, very serious. You start with picture reading for children. When my children were small, I still have a small one now, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate now. You do picture reading. I have a book here now. I have a book. This is My Princess, Learn to Be Brave. First of all, I'm going to tell you the kind of books you get for your children as well so that you know. Now, this is an illustrative book. You can see the illustration. So for that age, what you're doing for them is picture reading, and you start early, and the child begins to get used to reading, gets used to book, familiarity with the print, and so on. So I have my 7-month-old baby here. Hi, say hello to them. Okay, so isn't she beautiful? Okay, so now we go. This one likes to look. Okay, so this is pictures now. What makes a princess? Look, you want to touch it? Look at princess here. Look at another princess. You're looking at it. So now we're looking at princess because at this age they are attracted to illustration, what you call cartoons, what you call there's something else they call them, all those illustrative things get their attention. So the more you're exposing, hello sir, Mr. Uzodima Cosmos, the more you're exposing them to this print, you are beginning to imbibe, it's programming. Reading is programming. You're beginning to program the spirit of reading in the child. So now then you are careful too, because I'm still going to come to that. Now, the child is seeing the pictures now, look at princess, touch the princess, you can see princess, look at another princess, see her tiara on her hair, you like tiara. This is a 7-month-old baby. Actually, it's my own baby, And then you are making the child familiar with text. Look at princess is holding her wand, look at the castle and all. So this is how you keep, can you have her? This is how you keep teaching the child from this stage. Reading, you start as early as possible. You start as early as possible to begin to indoctrinate them, to begin to program the child into reading. Because reading doesn't just happen overnight. A child that gets used to this. When my daughter who is 15 now, when she was little, we just sit and we're looking at pictures. And because she's always so attracted to pictures, Blessing, can you take her? Because she's always attracted to pictures, we'll keep, and then on her own, what she started doing, when she turned like maybe 2.5, 3 years, she'll just pick the book and she'll just be using the picture to read. She like a boy now is standing on this. She'll be like, oh, look at this boy now. Okay, this boy is standing on a slide, and then she will just use it to form a story. She'll give the boy a name. They say maybe Jack is standing on a slide. Jack is going to slide down, and that was how her love for reading began. And by the time she in school, they started teaching them phonics, phonemic awareness, started teaching them Jolly phonics. That was what her school was using then. Then she began to use the sounding and blending, and she became, in fact, my daughter is a lifelong reader. The same happened to my son, and then even my third daughter. Though I had a bit of challenge with my third daughter because she wasn't just that. Her learning style, like I said last week, her learning style, she's not an auditory person. She's visual, yes, but even in her visual, she's kinesthetic. She likes to touch. So, I mean, she was just all over. She always all over the books and all, and then she gets the books destroyed. Now, let's come to destruction of books, because a lot of parents, one of the complaints is, okay, we buy books, our children destroy them, they tear the books. Another thing is you must get durable books. Look at those books now. You can see them back, very hard. They are quite expensive. Yeah, you can also get where they retail them, for second hand. You can see very durable. These are the books, especially at that early stage when you're just introducing reading to your children. You get books that are durable like this with this kind of back. It's more difficult for them to destroy. And then from an early age, begin to teach them respect for books. Teach them respect for books. The way you're teaching them to respect their elders, the way you're teaching them to respect their teachers, the way you're teaching them to respect you as a parent, begin to teach them that they must respect books. They must handle books well. At the same time, you get a durable one. So you get durable books. I have some other books here. This is for older children. So you can see the back is not that hard. So these are the kind of, you need to get durable books for children. So I've talked about you starting early with them. Number 2, get durable books, get illustrative books, especially from the younger age, because the picture will attract them to read. Then number 3, you're going to make sure that your home is littered with books, because sometimes you come to a home, there is no book in sight anyway. See, I told you that reading is programming. Reading is indoctrination. You're trying to get the children, immerse them. It's an immersion. And in any immersion, you should have things that you're using to immerse the child. I had a friend who said she studied engineering. I said, why? She said there was no other thing to study, Irene. I said, how? She said, because the father was an engineer, the mother was an engineer. She said, everywhere, when you turn, you see engineering book, you turn here, engineering book, you look, you go to the kitchen, everywhere was there. So what else? So I think the parents deliberately programmed her to study engineering, because all over their house, it was things about engineering, and that was what she was saying all through, and she ended up studying that. If you want your child to be a reader, you need to have books in your home. You cannot want your child to be a reader and it's only gadgets in your home. What do you want the child to see? They have to be programmed. They have to be programmed to see the things you want them to be imbibe. So books is one of them. You program them. Have some other books here, that you limit screen time as well. How else do you get your children to read? You limit screen time, especially for older children. I hope you have screen time limitation in your homes. My son, who is now in the university, he got a phone. I don't give my children phone on time. My son got a phone when he was 15 years plus, and it was even the COVID, that COVID thing, so we got him a phone, because actually my standard is 16 years, you get a phone. Yes, call me old school, but that is me, and that's my husband. We don't do early phone. We actually want you to stay without phone. Of course, that doesn't mean that we don't have gadget at home to learn. We have a laptop, we have desktop, we have what do you call this other one? Pads, and all, so that you can use for your assignments. But no personal phone until you turn 16. But my son was about 15 and a half, and then the COVID happened, so we needed to get him a phone, because he was going I think the lessons and some other things. So we just got him a phone. So limit screen time. And one of the things, when we're giving him phone, of course, we had already told him, you drop your phone at so and so time. So every phone, you drop it, in the parlor. I'm seeing the phone by 7 p.m. The phone is on the table there. So you limit screen time when you want your children to read. Then you must have routine for reading. You must have routine for reading. Like I talked to you about homework as well, that you have routine. You create a structure where you say, okay, this is homework time. You could also have reading time. You say, okay, this time now is for us to read every Saturday or every Sunday. Sunday might be more convenient because at least after church, most people are home. Say, okay, Sunday, every Sunday, we'll read at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 5 p.m. to just make sure there's a routine. Just make sure there's in the conscious. You mustn't be that it will work every Sunday or every day that you have planned it. But because you have put it there, when you miss it, something is telling you that I have missed this week. I can't miss next week. As opposed to not having any. And then, parents, are you a reader? Are you a reader? I have a quote here. A quote where it says that if you want to raise a reader, be a reader. Simple. I wanted to say shikena. If you want to raise a reader, you have to be a reader. You have to be reading yourself. You cannot tell your children to do what you're not even doing. I mean, every time you are there, on the phone, you are there on TV, you are there, just all over the place. Your child has never seen you read. Your child has never seen you take up a book. My second daughter told me on Monday, she said, Mommy, do you know why I like writing? She said, I like writing because you always write. And that's just so touched me. She said, Mommy, you're always writing. Every time I see you, you are, because we have a place where we do our study. And then every time she said, Mommy, your head is down, you're writing. I want to be an author like you someday. I mean, my writing is not even because I became an author. I've been writing all this while. But the point is, are you also displaying what you want your children to copy? So are you reading? Do they see you at any point carry your book to read? Or you're just, every time you're telling them, go and read, go and read. Meanwhile, you're there watching Baka, from Baka to La Liga to Super This, Or you, the woman, from Z World to I don't even know them, Telemundo. You're just back and forth. And then make out time that you also pick up a book. I mean, I know we're all busy, but make out time when you pick up a book and okay, this is our reading time. Mommy is going to be reading this. Let me see the one you're reading. You are promoting that culture of reading. Reading is a culture, and it's what you promote. It's a culture you try to promote that your children will grow up with. So, are you a reader? If you want to raise a reader, be a reader yourself. So, this one I'm going to talk about. Some parents will not be happy with me. When you have little children, and then because every school has a reading program, every good school has a reading program they follow. And because I have actually been in school settings, so I'm talking from experience. Now, when a school says it's Jolly Phonics, they are using Jolly Phonics. I'm giving you Jolly Phonics because it's one of the most common that schools use to introduce reading to children. So when they say we are doing Jolly Phonics, and then Jolly Phonics starts from S, A, T, P. So their letter sounding starts from S, snake, and to my arm, po. So that is how their letters sound. They start from S. Now, even when you have explained to some parents that this is our reading program, we are doing Jolly Phonics, we are not starting from ABC. That is not the program we are running. We are running Jolly Phonics from Sa'at, and it has class 1, 2, 3 before they now go down to blending, writing, and all. Now you see some overzealous parents. You storm the school. You're angry. They've taught this child Sa'at. In school, you get back home. The child is trying to do Sa'at as the homework. You're angry. No, S cannot come before A. A must come before S. You are actually distorting the reading program the school has. I told you parents that I am here to support parents so that they are in your educational journey with your children. But you also have to know what the school is doing. And if you don't understand, some schools use synthetic phonics. So if it's synthetic phonics, whatever phonics they are using to teach reading, please, if they didn't explain to you or you came in between the term, please, there's something called communication book. Write in the communication book or make an appointment to the school and say, oh, please, I do not understand what my child is doing with this your reading program. Could you please explain? As opposed to confusing this child. And I say this because I see children, you have given them homework, and they get back home and then they're telling you, no, my mommy said it must start with A. My daddy said it must be B. After A is B. After B is C. So you see the child confused. Meanwhile, you're doing confusion. So parents, follow the reading program your children's school is doing. If it's synthetic phonics, follow some do Oxford Reading Tree, some do Jolly Phonics. They're just different programs. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. They want your child to be able to read well, read with ease, read with confidence, and be a lifelong reader. That is the aim at the end of the day. So if they choose Oxford Reading Tree, fine. If they say synthetic phonics, fine. If they say Jolly Phonics, fine. But the point is just know what they follow, and then you guide your child at home with what they are following, not what you think should work. And can I tell you, education evolves. The way you were taught reading those days isn't the way we are teaching children to read now. I can't remember me sounding blending anything when I was in nursery school or early primary school. I can't remember that. We were never taught that. We just started reading. We read with sight, just look at it. And then after a while, it sticks to you, memorization and all. But times have changed. So follow the dynamics your children's school is doing. Okay, so just to recap, I'm a teacher, we like to recap. What did I say first? I said start early to read with your children. Start early. You can start I showed you my baby who's 7 months. I started early with her. I start early with my children. I have a son who is 17 and all. Start early with them. Get durable books, get illustrative books, especially for younger children, because it's what they see. Most children, I told you, are visual learners. That's always the dominant, and start with that picture reading and all. You be a reader yourself. You cannot, it's not possible for you to raise readers when you're not a reader. I told you to make sure that your homes are filled with books. Program them. It's a programming. It's a culture you're trying to build. So program them. Limit screen time. You can't be watching La Liga and all, and then tell them, go and read your book, go and read your book. You can just have the time. It's okay, this is the time we'll do for reading. And when I'm talking about reading, I'm not talking of just your school books. I'm talking of reading for pleasure, because this is where Nigerians fail it. The Nigerians don't read for pleasure at all. So now, I'm going to give a bonus to Christian parents. You have been trying to get your children to read Bible. In short, you are angry. In fact, in your mind, you must take that child for deliverance, because when they try to read the Bible, they slip off. When they try to read the Bible, they drop it off, and you are angry. That is either this child is possessed, or the spirit of your village people has entered that child. Is a lie. There's no village people in the child. What kind of Bible did you get for the child? I tell parents, you have age-appropriate Bible. You cannot go and carry NKJV, New King James Version. Now I'm talking to Christian parents. New King James Version or Old King James Version, and give to your child in the name of Bible. You say, Bible na Bible. No, Bible no be Bible. Now carry KJV, where they say, suffereth not the witch to live. How can the child understand that? Even me, an adult, I don't read it. So you need to get age-appropriate Bibles for your children. And from age 0 to 5, there's Bible for children, age 0 to 5. And you see, the people who have actually reprinted or printed those Bibles have actually studied children at those age brackets. And they have put in what they know will attract children to read the Bible at that age. Now, you have the ones from that age 6 to about 10. Now, my daughter, my second daughter is 10 years old. When she was 10, I went to get her one. My daughter that is 15, going to be 15 this December, when she turned 13, she became a teenager. I went to get her young teenage girl's Bible. My daughter can read that Bible. She even takes it to school. Do you know why? The people who made this Bible have written the things that are disturbing children at that age. So you have things about boyfriend issue. You have things about period. All of them, it has to do with Bible. So the Bible is there. There are stories for them. There are issues. There's something on self-esteem. There's something on depression. So it just makes them want to read that Bible. So your child is not possessed. Village people are not worrying your child. It's only that you have not gotten the right Bible for your child. It is expensive. When I got that one for my daughter, I think that was 2 years ago. Yeah, about this time 2 years ago. I think it was about 12,000 naira for just that Bible. But it's a good investment. She's going to use it from there till I think when she's 18. 18 again, or about 18. I'll buy another one for her. And that was going to be talking about adolescence, puberty, all those kind of things. When my son was going to secondary school, JS1, I went to buy the Bible for them, for boys who are going to secondary school, the kind of things they will meet, friendship, those kind of things. And I went to get that time. This was 2015. That Bible was very expensive. But that is what will make them read the Bible. You cannot go and carry the NKJV they gave you, your father gave you, or they dashed you somewhere, or what's the other one that give you a small Bible and give them, and you expect the child to be reading and reading the Bible, and the child will not read. You now say your village people, this my child is possessed. Your child is not possessed at all. You have not gotten the right Bible. So I encourage you today, get the right Bible for them. When you go to big bookshops, okay, I don't know, Auntie Tima, is Auntie Tima here? Auntie Tima has a bookshop somewhere in Lokogoma as well. I'm sure she sells Bibles there as well. So go there, ask them. Just tell them your child's age. They will give you the Bible that's in tandem with your child's age. And you see your child. My daughter, sometimes I want to borrow my first daughter's Bible. She refuses. Hey, mommy, no, I have to read this story about something. The girl that they'll tell me about the girl that went to died a virgin because the father made a vow, and this are things, and they will make it in a contemporary setting, and they will just love it. So my daughter now, I'm sure she will, before the end of this year, should have done that Bible cover to cover, just because of the stories that are there. Even for women, I read women devotional Bibles only. I am sorry, NKJV, not my thing. I buy women devotional Bibles. It has issues about raising children. It has issue about praying, about finance as a Christian woman. So when they bring up the issue, then they give you the Bible, you read it. That's the kind of Bible I also read. Sorry. Okay, I know those of you that are men of God and serious women of God, you might not like it. I'm just telling you. I know your children. I used to see them. So when they say they don't want to read Bible, they are not possessed. They are very good children. Thank you so much. Watch out for next week. I'm going to bring another content. By the way, thank you so much for the people who went to my YouTube channel and watched the learning style I taught last week. Some people left comments for me and said they had learned one or two things about their children's learning style. Please, I'm going to still upload this on YouTube, and also enjoy you to go to YouTube as well and watch some other past edition, especially that learning style. As a parent, you can't go far with your children's educational journey if you don't know their learning style. Even in this reading, yes, some children are visual learners, but you want them to read. You need to know that this is how they read, this is how they learn. So you follow that learning style to be able to help them to read and to read well. Thank you so much. Watch out for another content next week. God bless you.